Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. So in this video, I am going to elaborate a little bit in more detail about visual perception, which is visual imaginary and visual closure. And here, Teacher Akma gonna start presenting. Before I go in deep explaining about what are those we are going to learn today, I want all of you to close your eyes and imagine. I have two different situations. So the first one, imagine you go to a beach. There you are stepping on the soft white sand. You go a little bit forward and then you start to hear sound of the ocean. In five, I'm gonna move on to the second situation. So for the second situation, imagine you go to a coffee shop. There, you get the smell of the coffee or the old books that they have in the coffee shop. Moving forward, you start to see people start chatting, a group of people, or even a couple of people. The sound of the chit chat of those people, and let's stop in five, four, three, two, one. So you can open your eyes back and let me ask you something. So after I just described the both of the situation, did you guys get to see something on your mind during you close your eyes? If you can, then that is what we call as visual imaginary. Pardon me, visual imagery. I would love to add some fun fact. There's only 3 to 5% of people that cannot imagine using the visual imagery. So if you cannot, then you are one of the 3 to 5% of people that cannot do that. And if you can, then you are normal. So a little bit definition of what is visual imagery. It is a mental imagery that involves some sense of having picture in mind, as what we just did just now. So as you get to imagine the situation on your head. It is due to the past memory or some visual experience that you've had it before, and that is then produced by your imagination. And those visual imagery can be very useful for some purpose. For instance, for people that need to deal with traumatic events, or they need to start to establish on desensitizing stuff, or even it can also be helpful for improving physical performance. So for some athletes, or maybe if you've been an athlete before, your coach must train you to start imagine that you are a champion, imagine that you can run very fast, so that is what we call as visual imagery. Then let's proceed to some more details of visual imagery. There are five different types of imagery based on our sensory, which is the very first one is auditory, is what we hear. It can be noise, it can be silence, it can be melody. And secondly is tactile, which is what we feel on our skin. It can be a texture, it can be a temperature, either cool or hot. And thirdly is gustatory, is what we taste on our tongue. Fourthly is olfactory, is what we smell. So like just now we smell the coffee shop, the coffee in the coffee shop, or you can smell the saltness of the sea water. And lastly, visual, of course, is what we see. It can be either colors, it can be either items, pattern, or even sizes. Let's proceed with next activity. I've put a picture there. It is of course not a complete picture. And let's see if you can guess it. I will give you for about 7 seconds to guess it. Alright, time's up. Can you guess what it is? If your answer is scissors, then you're correct. If your answer is not scissors, something else, then it is not. Let's try one more page. This one I have a few, which is 6 items. And let's see if you can guess it. It is a half image. I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, so if you can guess it, the very first one is the very first one on the left is house, and then the one that is on behind di bahagian bawahnya is ice cream. The one di bahagian yang ketiga is a stick man, and then next to it is sun. The above it is butterfly, and the on top of it is flower. So, what do I want to sampaikan from this activity just now? So, from what we did just now is what we called as visual closure. So, visual closure is the ability to visualize a complete whole when you only can see the incomplete version of it, information, or even a picture of it. So, do you know that this ability or this skill is very crucial because it helps people, or even in this case, which is our children, it helps them to read and comprehend information faster. So, for instance, if they can see only a few alphabet, the initial alphabet of the word, they can guess what's the next alphabet to form the word and make sense of the sentence. So that by having these skills, the children or the person's eye do not need to process the whole letter in each sentence separately, so that they can easily understand the word just by sight. So from the activity just now, I hope that I give you a clearance on what's the difference between visual imagery and visual closure. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy my presentation. See you soon.